And so what I've decided, after discovering that the the breather hoses that I bought don't fit, not that they don't fit, they're not the right ones. After discovering that, I've decided I'm going to have a good look at this window regulator, which, as I say, I happened to replace last year. I put the electrics on. The action is good until there, and then it sticks. So on the way down, it's clearly sticking on something. Feels like it might be on that side. So I'm going to take this door apart and see what is going on behind it. Not that I've never taken this door apart a million times already, because I have. The door card, if you're interested, is held on by one screw there, a whole load of poppers that go around the side of the door, and then it kind of hooks on the top. It's quite easy to remove. Ah yes, and let's not forget this catch here, which, oh, there we go, that came off. Door card should be capable of being removed now. Ah yes, and of course there is a screw inside there somewhere. I don't know if you can see it there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that needs to come off as well. And then the door card can be removed. Of course I remember all how to do this. And then off comes the door card. And what we can see is we've then got the controls here, or the connectors for the electric windows, which I'd previously marked up, but as I've discovered since, even though they're not actually, well, I mean the ends are colour coded, however, the lengths actually dictate which one goes where. If you don't get them on the right places, they're not all going to go back together again. So this is the inside of the door. Next thing I'm going to do then, I'm going to be really careful with this door card, because it is, as you can see, it's very old, it's very flimsy. There'll be another video on fixing that. Previously I had glued all the PVC back, and I've seen again on someone's idea of actually using string to hold this back and then to kind of araldite that in place. So we'll see if I can improve this. I mean, what way I might be able to improve this, but let's put that down really carefully. Maybe on my foot to start off with, and then I'm going to unclip these. In case you're worried as well, the battery is off. Well, I never know when it comes to batteries. I take it off no matter what I'm doing. Not really, well, I'll say not knowing what I'm doing, but not knowing, you know, not being a trained mechanic or anything. Having a good go, you know, it's the car that Steve rebuilt. Okay, and then I'm going to put that somewhere for safekeeping. Alright, so what I've done is I've connected up to the red one, for that is the front driver's door window, this spare switch here. And if I do that, I can see it going up and down. So I want to find out now, why is that catching? What is going on with this? I've got a feeling might have to start taking a bit of this door apart to see what is happening. Okay, so I'm thinking about what to do, and I'm going to drop the window down to the point where it sticks and then hold it there. I'm just going to leave it at that point, and then I'm going to investigate what could it possibly be catching on. So whether it's these runners, whether it's catching on this. I noticed that this wobbles when it does it. There, it's about there. So, and I can see the runners actually come down towards the door handle. So I wonder if something is actually catching there. So I'm going to start peeling this back. I'm going to probably take this off. I'm going to see what might be going on behind that. But it's something going along this top part here. That's the only fitment. The window sort of goes back into the recesses of the door. And we've got the mechanism part here itself as well. So yeah, let's start removing this, I think. So with the door catch removed, there's an inspection panel here, but that's mainly for the lock. Big inspection panel, well, big inspection, this is where the window regulator as it gets fed into the door. Held on by a bolt there, there's a bolt there. And the inspection panel, I guess, can't, what else? Maybe I suppose in Mark 1 doors, is that where the ashtray might bolt on? Or would that be a bit more closer there? I don't know. I think the doors are interchangeable from Series 2 to Series 1. Not the other way around though, I think. That looks like sort of inspection channel. There's the inspection panel, especially to feed the electric window, which is there. There's the runner as well for the window. So what I've done is I've dropped it down to the point where it sticks, and on the back of this, where that bolt there goes in, I can feel it sticks out just ever so slightly, and I wonder if I just loosen that, just withdraw it a little bit, if that's potentially the source of the problem. Alternatively, I can't feel anything that particularly sticks, unless it's a bit of a duff window regulator. But I remember when I put it on, before I actually put the door back together again, and tighten everything up just to make sure that the channel fits and the window goes up and down, it was actually quite smooth. There was no sticking, so something I think is catching on the door. If I can't particularly find it, I'm going to lubricate all the points and see if that actually solves things. Loosen that, put the window down, didn't make any difference, so I'm going to tighten that back up again. So I bought this silicone lubricant ages ago. I never really know with the products that I need to use. I mean, WD-40 is something that gets used time and time again on these sort of things, but surely something other than WD-40 must be more appropriate for something like this. Anyway, I'm going to give everything a good squirting over, give the runners a good squirting, and see what change that makes. But going around the door for a little while, the glass is all the way down. It's probably not particularly easy to see. This is now well lubricated, unless it's actually something to do with the runners, perhaps, that it happens to be on, the window happens to be on. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to take the door apart today. I'm not feeling that excited by things. I don't know if you like looking inside of doors. And this is inside the door. Sometimes I find that actually when I play these videos back, when I'm editing them to put them on YouTube, I spot something. Not particularly seeing anything here today. I'm coming to the conclusion it's either the big cog, which, that thing there, if that's actually, I don't know if it's got all its teeth. I mean, the one that I removed had some teeth missing towards the end. It must have just sheared off through old age, and that, you know, that kind of solved that problem. I don't know if any of these are actually, I don't know, like I say, sort of sticking. If that's the source of the problem. I don't think there's anything that's in this channel here. Sort of like a guide channel. Yeah, I'm going to finish off with this. The other thing that I wanted to then do was down here is where the relays live for the central locking, and the car will unlock quite happily, but it won't unlock from the switch. So I'm going to peel this back and investigate that. These are the connectors for, well, I believe they are the connectors for the central locking. Behind that, what we've got here, we've got purple. Purple is lights. That's going to be the courtesy light on the end of the door. And then I've got these. And given how, I mean, that's looking a little bit dirty. Given how the car will unlock, I'm not really sure which one locks and which one unlocks, but is that going to be, I suppose it would be different circuits for each, wouldn't it? So yeah, given what the car unlocks but it won't lock through the central locking, I'm I'm going to take the opportunity to give these connectors a good clean. Interestingly, I don't know if you can see this particularly well, but it looks like we've got some corrosion going on inside there. I might actually withdraw this connector completely, give everything a good clean, and then put it back together again. And of course, if I do this one at a time, I won't necessarily have to remember which order they go back in, but just in case, that's the top of the connector, and that's the, so we've got green black on the right, and I've got blue black on the left. And if you can hear Seb in the background, I've taken my Fitbit off so I can get my hand inside the door, and he's now running around the house like a lunatic. In cleaning these up, I am using a variety of methods. I've got some electrical contact cleaner. I have a wire brush, and I've got some coarse sandpaper, which let's just keep turning it around and shine it up that way. I'm now happy with that connector. It's a lot cleaner inside. This one doesn't look too bad. Not really sure, I don't know. I'm guessing that this happens to be the one that unlocks the door. Quite why it has 3 pins, I don't know. And the other one has 2. Inside it's looking a little bit tarnished. That one there on the right could do with a little bit of cleaning up. Even though it seems to work, I don't think it's going to be much of a hardship just to give that a good clean out. Well, I'm putting the door back together again. The release catch is on, the door catch, and everything is taped up. I've retaped this top bit because when the gaffer tape came on, it wasn't going to go back on again. So now I'm going to reconnect the door card, get it on, and see what happens. Just thought I'd quickly show you my system for this. As you can see, I've got blob and blob, so they must go together. I've got, what have I got on this one? I've got blob, 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 so that must go together. I've got blob, 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 so that must go together. And I've got blob, blob, but a different angle, so that's going left to right, and that's going top to bottom. Makes life easy putting those back together. I always find whenever I take the door off that this part here is always the trickiest bit. I think it's supposed to fit behind the catch, so then you can actually lift this up, otherwise it's going to get in the way. Yeah, good bit of shaky cam there. A little bit of teasing with a flat screwdriver gets it in looking quite nicely. Again, like, I'm looking for different ways to improve this door, well, all the door cards, I suppose. They have all been glued around the side. This veneer is all crazed. That would be quite nice to sort out. Plastic there, the trim. But again, this is going to be like for another day sort of restoring these. It will be done. I mean, you know, got a whole lifetime ahead of me, really. And then one day, perhaps the car will be finished. In my other video as well, I also said that there were not that many, well, maybe I get the impression there aren't too many things to do. I mean, like, there's other things as well, like this door seal, for example. I do have another one, but apparently it doesn't really go on very easily. I'm going to investigate that one as well at some point in the future. The aim of the improvement to the door cover will be just basically to get rid of that great big gap. I mean, that's pretty horrendous, really. Also, note to self, when I gaffer up next time, not to go around the side of the door. Doors on, everything's back together again, and it's, if anything, with the door card on, it is worse. Look at this sounds. I mean, that's just goes up no problem, but coming down. I don't know. I'm going to bung this on the forum, perhaps on Facebook as well, and we'll see what transpires. I say that. Did I say that a lot? We'll see if anyone guys got any ideas. Coincidentally, despite cleaning out those connectors, nothing there. No central locking. Doesn't even seem to want to. If I don't know. Let's do some other doors. Doesn't seem to want to do anything else. Has locked the door though. maybe the fuse is blown in all the fun of putting the electricity on and off. So I will probably investigate that anon.